Ladies and gentlemen and hockey fans of all ages, welcome back to another edition of Randy Talks Hockey. My name is Randy Dillon. We are so close now to the start of the NHL season in October. It is the end of August, is right around the corner. Then we got September, a few weeks in September, training camp. Then a little shortly after that, preseason. Then October, then hockey starts. All is right in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We're so close there. Now, we have had some news break, and this news is not the news you want to hear. On Friday, August 23rd, there was a statement released from the IIHF, the International Ice Hockey Federation. Forward Evgeny Kuznetsov of the Washington Capitals had been suspended 4 years for being test positive with cocaine. Now, let's go back a little bit and talk about this. In May, there was a video release there was a white line of coke. Evgeny Kuznetsov was in the room with another player. The video was deleted. Kuznetsov claimed he did not do drugs. He never had drugs. You can test him. And now this happened. Now, the 4-year ban, he can't play for Russia. Now, the Russian player, that is the greatest honor. But what's going to happen with the Capitals? He was such a big part of the Capitals winning the Stanley Cup in 2018, as we see in that picture up there. But are the league going to send a suspension? I think they will, because they need to keep their image clean. They need to say this is not tolerated. It will not be allowed. And the fact is Kuznetsov got caught. It really hurt the Capitals. How long suspension? I hope it's not anywhere close to 20 games like Tom Wilson got last year, missing the first 20-odd games or some. Who knows? No statement has been released by the league. Only time will tell. Now, speaking of news in a good way, an RFA has signed. Colin White of the Ottawa Sentors have signed a 6-year deal worth $28.5 million. It's a $4.75 million cap hit for the next 6 years. Surprised that Eugene Melnyk let Pierre Dorian spend a little money here, not going to lie. Little joke to the Senators, I do apologize. But I think it's a good move long-term for the Sen. This is Colin White's first full year. He played 71 games, 41 points. It looks like he's going to be part of the long-term future to help this Senators team get back close to what they were in a few years. One goal away from the Stanley Cup final. We'll see what happens, and who knows, maybe Colin White can increase his total from 41, maybe next year 50, 60, who knows. Other RFA news, nothing yet has happened, and then you have Mitch Marner saying he's going to go play in Sweden. That's just, oh my goodness, what's going to happen with the Leafs? It is just a nightmare. The clock is ticking. Mikko Rantanen did start actually skating out of season. I believe it was Denmark. I'm not exactly too sure. I can't remember. But the Avs, they can just roll the money. They have the cap hit. They can sign Rantanen. It's just a matter of time when. Now, other RFAs, Brock Besser, the report saying he wants a 4-year, $28 million deal. If Besser does this, he's still an RFA after the 4 years expire with the Vancouver Canucks. But in that how much money does he want? Arbitration rights, all that kind of stuff. I'll get into that a little bit more when I talk about the Canucks in my segment of did the NHL team improve or did not. Other signings we've had, actually another RFA signed before I talk about other ones, is Joel Eriksson Ek signed a 2-year deal with the Minnesota Wild. I still believe Eriksson Ek has potential to be a good top centerman in the league, 1 or 2 depending on the team, but especially in Minnesota, Koivu and Eric Staal are their top 2 centermen. The Wild are not getting any younger. They need Eriksson Ek to really help out if the Wild do want to make the playoff. And now a UFA signing is Derek Brassard. He signed a 1-year deal with the New York Islanders. I think it's a good win-win for both teams. 1-year deal, not expensive. If Brassard doesn't work out, they can throw him the minors. But he'll be playing a depth role in either the 3rd or 4th line center, and maybe he'll find his goal touch. Since being traded from the Senators in 2018, it's been tough. 84 games since that trade with the Penguins, Panthers, and Avalanche, only 17 goals. Before that trade in 58 games, he had 18 goals. So maybe Brassard can find that scoring touch. Who knows? All right, back into that segment where did an NHL team improve this offseason or not? We're going to talk about the Ottawa Senators. And now the Senators, they have had a busy offseason, made some trade, hired a new head coach, a couple of signings, been busy. They made a trade with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They acquired defenseman Nikita Zaitsev, forward Connor Brown, and then they signed Ron Hainsey of the UFA and Tyler Ennis. Zach Smith traded for Temi Anisimov for the Chicago Blackhawks, and DJ Smith is the new head coach of the Senators. Smith was Mike Babcock's assistant in Toronto. Now, Mike Babcock's assistant, they can find the right place. They can strike gold, ladies and gentlemen. And just look around the league and the history. Paul McLean with the Senators, he did a great job his first few years. Todd McCullough with the Sharks, just phenomenal. Bill Peters now, Carolina was a little bit hard, but with the Flames, he has got that team on fire, and just because they're not named the Flames. But if DJ Smith can get the right move, get them help with the right moves and get the right personnel, who knows? Now, do I think the Senators are better than what they were last year? No, I do not. No major acquisitions. They couldn't draft a high-touted player because they traded that first overall pick when they acquired Matt Duchene a few years ago. But the funny thing here is more about, in March, owner Eugene Melnyk made a statement saying, why would we follow the Leafs rebuild tool? Look at them. He acquired players that in that rebuild like Zaitsev, Hainsey, Ennis, and Connor Brown. Like, I don't know about you, but Eugene Melnyk, he is great for an entertainment person, gives us interest in what we're watching around the hockey world. But man, oh man, he is hurting the Senators. My goodness, everything going on. Senators is going to be another tough year. Hopefully Melnyk can keep out of the crossfires and not cause any problems. The next team we're going to talk about is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, the Lightning, after having an incredible season, they had two players winning awards, Nikita Kucherov, the Hart, Andrei Vasilevsky with the Vezina, and then you had them tying the Detroit Red Wings 1995-1996 most regular season wins, and they get knocked in the first round. It's a tough loss. They did lose some key pieces, though. They lost Brian Callahan to a back injury. He is done. They were able to ship out his final year of the contract to the Senators because they have to hit the floor, and now they have that space available to sign Braden Point. I don't know when, but the season is coming along here shortly. Braden Point is the center. He's not a wing, so I know a lot of people waiting for Marner, but Julian Breezeball got to do something here. You can't just wait. They lost some players on defense, and Anton Strawman and Dan Girardi. JT Miller acquired and traded in 2018 with Ryan McDonough. He traded to Vancouver. But they do have players that can step in and help. Players like Yanni Gard, Adam Ernie, Matthew Joseph, they'll get more opportunity. They had some great years. And they also made some signings on the defense to help those key losses of, well, I think especially Strawman. But Luke Schenn signed a one-year deal. Schenn playing with the Canucks with February and March really showed he can still possibly play in this league. And then Kevin Shattenkirk getting bought out by the Rangers to a 1.75. He has something through it. And they just signed Patrick Maroon to a one-year deal. It's a shame the Big Red's not going to stay in St. Louis, especially after scoring that double overtime goal to send them to the conference final after beating Dallas. But Maroon will give them some grit and toughness. The Lightning, you gotta wait. I'm going to say they're a wait-and-see team. They still have some great pieces: Stamkos, Kucherov, Tyler Johnson, Andre Palat. They still got depth. Yanni Gord, Adam Ernie, Matthew Joseph, and now they still have a good defense and Hedman, McDonough. They still have Mikhail Sergachev. Now you got Shattenkirk, who possibly wants to play better. Andrei Vasilevsky is still golden. I'm not too worried about the Lightning, but the Lightning with this core group, another year is going to happen. They have to get players signed. They signed Vasilevsky, that big-term deal. This might be their last kick at a can because they might have to go to Route 2 and get the money, but who knows. The final team we're going to talk about is one of the biggest fan bases around, one of the longest reigning teams, the original six, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Once again, they lose the Boston Bruins in the first round, and Kyle Dubas had made a lot of moves to really help the team. They dressed, and he got rid of some guys. So Ron Hainsey gone. We saw Connor Brown got. Patrick Marleau, they shipped out to Carolina, and the Hurricanes bought him out. Jake Gardiner has not signed. And then Nathan Kadri got in a trade. They did, I think, get better in a way by acquiring Cody Ceci and Shane Harper. These are big, tough guys. They'll help that defense. Tyson Barrie does replace Jake Gardiner in a way, and I think he's a much better two-way defenseman. With Nathan Kadri gone, they got out Kerfoot. Kerfoot's young, but you still got Matthews. You still got Tavares. The Leafs, I think the Leafs are better than what they were last year, but the question's going to be, when will Mitch Marner sign? The season is so close to happening. If he does not sign, it's going to hurt the Leafs. The rumor is he wants a 3-year, $12 million. I don't know. He maybe wants 5 so he can go to free agency. Who knows? But if Kyle Dubas can't get Marner signed, it's going to hurt. They got the cap space because they reacquired David Clarkson. He's on LTR along with Nathan Horton. $10.5 million in cap space. They still got Freddie Anderson. He'll give them win, but they need to get a backup to help play, reduce his load, get ready for the playoff. They offer Michael Neuvirth a PTO. He could maybe get that job done. Who knows? But the biggest thing I want to talk about quickly before we have to go is for the Leafs. If they don't make it to the conference final, I strongly believe Mike Babcock will be fired. He's on the hot seat. He wanted to help the team win a cup. They made the playoff, but haven't been able to make it to the second round since 2004. Mike Babcock, like I said, if they don't make the conference final, I believe Mike Babcock will be fired. All right, that's all I got for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I know I went a little bit too long, so much to cover and stuff, but we'll be back with another edition of Randy Talk Hockey, going through the last few teams, the Canucks, the Capitals, the Knights, and the Jets. I hope you all have an amazing week, and always remember to watch some hockey. We are so close, ladies and gentlemen. The NHL season, you can smell it at this point.